Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm here with Emma, and this is Inside Her World, where we talk honestly about the things that land emotionally for women, the thoughts, the feelings, the moments that stay with you. And today we're talking about Fourth Wing, and more specifically, how it felt to read it, because the reaction to this book has been intense.
I honestly didn't expect it to hit me like this, like at all. I went in thinking, okay, dragons, fantasy, bit of romance, this will just be fun, you know? And it was fun, but it was also so much more intense than I expected. I remember feeling physically tense while reading it, like my shoulders were up around my ears without me even realizing. And I kept having to consciously relax.
Yeah, same. And I think that's what surprised me most. It pulled me in really quickly, emotionally, and it wasn't just the story, it was that constant pressure underneath everything. Like nothing ever felt safe, even in quieter moments. And as a woman reading it, I felt that stress in my body, which sounds dramatic, but yeah, it's true.
Exactly, yeah. And Violet as a character really got to me. She's not the strongest, she's not the obvious choice, and she knows it. She's constantly having to prove herself. And I kept thinking, God, that would be exhausting, emotionally exhausting. And I think a lot of women recognize that feeling straight away.
Yeah, and that feeling of always having to push through, even when you're tired or scared, really landed for me. It's fantasy, obviously, but emotionally it felt very real. That sense of being underestimated, of having to survive in systems that aren't built for you, of people quietly waiting for you to fail. I caught myself getting a bit emotional at points, which I genuinely wasn't expecting.
Same. And the intensity just builds and builds. The danger, the stakes, the constant pressure. I had to put the book down a couple of times, not because it was boring, but because it was a bit much. Like I needed a breather, a cup of tea, just a moment to calm down and reset a bit.
Yeah, and I noticed that even when I wasn't reading it, I was still thinking about it. Like my body was still slightly tense, even away from the book. And I remember sort of laughing to myself, like a nervous little laugh, because it really does get your heart going in a way you don't always expect from a fantasy novel.
And the romance side of it, for me, wasn't even about specific moments. It was the tension, that slow, charged feeling where you're constantly aware of what's unsaid, what could happen, what might go wrong. That tension just sits with you. And I found that really absorbing.
Yeah, I felt that too. And I liked that it didn't feel soft or gentle. It felt sharp, dangerous. Even the quieter moments had this edge to them, like something could go wrong at any second. That made it feel more real somehow, more unsettling, and it kept me hooked.
And emotionally, it really lingered. I finished it and felt kind of wired afterwards, like my nervous system had been switched on high for hours and didn't quite know how to come down. I kept thinking about it later, not replaying scenes, but replaying how it made me feel, which doesn't happen that often for me.
And I think that's the sign of a book that really lands. Not that it's perfect, but that it makes you feel something strongly. I felt invested, tense, excited, and honestly a bit drained by the end, but in a good way, like I'd been through something emotionally.
Yeah, it felt immersive, consuming. And I can completely see why so many women talk about it with that almost breathless energy. It's not just a story you read, it's something you go through and you come out the other side slightly different.
And when I closed the book, didn't feel finished with it. I felt like something had shifted slightly, like I'd been inside this intense world and then had to come back out again and readjust. That feeling stayed with me longer than I expected.
Yeah, it really stayed with me. And I think that's why the reaction to it is so strong. Love it or not, it doesn't leave you neutral. It grabs you, shakes you a bit, and then lets you go. And honestly, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, same. It really did stay with me. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back with a new 5-minute review very soon.